Welcome to Tech Brothers Damer. In this video, we are going to learn about Microsoft Fabric, a notebook, a UI, and here there are tons of tabs available that we are going to discuss and their functionality. So what is Notebook? A notebook in Microsoft Fabric is an interactive workspace where you can write code in a PySpark, SparkSQL, or and etc. Visualize data and collaborate in real time. It supports both code and markdown cells with the support for AI assisted development, pipeline scheduling, and more. So first of all, I have this, I'm going to keep this notebook open and I'm going to open a new notebook where we'll be doing some experiments. In this case, if I'm explaining you, let's say, such as feature, such as run all, then we will be doing those experiments in that notebook. So go to the workspaces here and then this is workspace and then I have, let's say, if I will go to this workspace, in this case I'm gonna drag up and I have lake houses and one of the lake houses called Tech Brothers. I'm gonna click right there and then you're gonna end up right here seeing some notebooks. So open a notebook, a new notebook, and then once this notebook will be opened, it's called notebook 6 and you can see right here. So this is the one. So whichever is the current, let's say if I'm in this notebook 9, then you are going to see this is highlighted right here and I can see, and then I can go back here and then I can click on that one, switch between that. So these are two notebooks we will be working. So now if I go to the Lakehouse items and there are files here and you can see some of the files. If I drag one file here and this notebook, this part is called cell and this is called code cell. So if you see right here, there is a code and there is markdown. So with the code, you can click and it will be right where, that's where you will be writing the code, and then if you will do markdown, that's where you will be writing the descriptions and all the other headings and everything. So now in this cell, what we are doing here, we are reading a file into the data frame and then we are displaying that data frame. Now I'm dragging the second CSV file here and reading this CSV file to the another data frame here in this cell and then displaying. And here is my markdown, and as I said that, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a markdown so we can simply do a lot of things. So let's say if I will do single hash and this is my heading, and you can see that this is my heading. If I will do two hashes, subheading, and then you can keep going with this, give a space between that, so it will become a subheading. Then you have 3 dashes, subheading. So you see that the size of the text decreases. Now let's say if we will write some, this is my text, and now I want to just select this, make bold, then it's possible, and you can see that this is the headings and this is the text. Double click on this cell and then you can do this is italic, and then you will just simply select and use this italic. You can also do underline if you want. Now this is good, and then what you can do here, you can do underline, you want to do highlight, or you can add a code here if you want. So code block can be added inside here as well. If you want to write a paragraph, you can go ahead and say this paragraph or headings 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can then again, let's say you are here, you want to add a heading here and then say this is going to be large size heading 2, and then you can see right there. Now double click on this one again and you have also list. So let's say first item, first, second, third. So in this case, what you can do, you can simply select them and then do the list right there. So it will make a list. If you double click here and again select this one and put numbers there, then it's going to show you the numbers right there. So you can do a lot of things. Also this has a link. If you want to add a link here, you can go ahead and add a link here. That's possible. Also you can bring an image. So in the image I have let's say I want to click here and then I can place the image here. One other way I have, let me show you. If my image is on my desktop somewhere sitting there, I can simply drag the image into this cell. So if I do that, what happened, it brought the image right here. Now that's all good here, and we can see that we can clean up. Let me just double click here and delete this part, so we don't need this link here. Now this is a looks good, and you have the image added as well in this markdown. Now this is the edit button. You can always go ahead and edit. This is your convert to the code cell if you want to convert to code cell, and then this is a lock cell. So if you do a lock cell, you will not be able to delete this cell. Now see that the delete part is gone. When you unlock this one, you can be delete. So now let's go back here, and then we will go back and start taking a look one by one. This was the basic things I wanted to add to this. Now before I go and start explaining you all detail, if you go to TechBrothersIT.com, and here is my PySpark tutorial. This explain everything about the PySpark, and if there are some missing topic, I'm going to add them in this tutorial. So if I'm using data frames and how to add new columns, all those things are covered in here. You can also go to the TechBrothersIT.com, and here you have PySpark tutorial for beginners and advanced users, and here I have added them chapter by chapter. You can see introduction to PySpark, data frame operations, and reading writing data frames, and tons of other topics I have added here. Code is also available, so you can go ahead and always, let's say if you're checking this one, you have I have put the sample code here. You can test it out. The video is there, so it will be very helpful. Now if we go back to our main tab, here is the home page, and in the home page we see that we have a save all, and I'm gonna actually so then our these three buttons here, so you can save as, and you have option to save your notebook in different name or in the different location. So if you want to see, like let's say if I want to save this one in Amar's workspace, or my workspace, I can go ahead and save it. Also I can change the name while I will save this. Also you can download this one, so you have a notebook .ipynb ipynb format, or html, or .py or .txt. so you can download these to your local computer, and then you can import it back when you want to. Now here is your settings, and in the settings you can change the name, and you can add the description, and it tell you more details about that. So who's the owner, and created by what time, last modified time, and then endorsements. So endorsement quality content to help colleague discover it. So as of now there is no endorsement. If I want to promote, I can go ahead and click here, and then it will create the endorsement. Also there is a button for schedule, and I can go ahead and click here, and then I can provide the schedule on which I would like to run this notebook. So we will do all those in later videos. So we have covered now run all. As I was creating this pipeline, and this pipeline has two cells, and what we can do now, we can use run all. Once you run all, it's going to run each cell, and this one is reading Parquet file, this one is reading CSV file, and this is a markdown. This is not going to do anything. This is just for the display of the our notebook. So when you click here in the connector, and whenever we run the cell, it is going to connect, and it is going to select the drop down from where you can select either a standard session, a dedicated Spark session with the private compute resources, best for heavy ETL jobs, machine learning, or persistent caching. Or you can use a high concurrency, the shared session that supports multiple users or notebooks, ideal for ad hoc querying, testing, or dashboard style workloads. So in this case, if you have a lot of users and they are writing small queries and reading small files, you will go with the high concurrency. But if you are writing an ETL job that read very heavy files, and you don't want to share the resources, then you will be going to standard session. Now if we go back to our notebook here, and it is still connecting, and once it's connected, then it's going to display us the data. Meanwhile it is creating a session, and then what we can do, we can go ahead and take a look on other features, such as here we can use the kernel type, and then next button is we can have a Python, we can have Scala, we can have a SparkSQL, we can have R, we can have write Python, and we can write a T-SQL. So all these are different languages we can use in the notebook here, and this is where you will be selecting right here. So every time you will create a notebook, you can choose the language you would like to use, and some cases you might want to use different language in each of the cell. That is also possible. Those are called the magic commands, and I will show you how to do that. So in this case, let's say if we want to add this, I'm going to delete this part because this or just markdown is taken a long time actually here. So I'm going to just delete this. Not the, it's not in the execution, but I'm just saying that it is a, okay, the results came out anyways, so let's take a look on the results. So you can see that it is returning us the output of this data frame, and it has read the Parquet file, and that's how the results are shown here. Now this is for the second cell output, and now we can go ahead and if we want to hide the output, we can clear output, we can hide output, and we can this is auto resize itself. So if I want to clear this output, we can do that as well. Now from here you can also do free cells, you can do new comment thread. I will show you that you can move the cell up and down. So in this case, if I want to move cell up and down, I can do that. So in this case right here, if this cell need to be hide input, hide output, toggle parameter cells, and all those different things are possible. So move cell up if I want to do that here. So I just did that. Now that's great, and I was showing you like you can select the languages. So right now it is in PySpark and Python. So see right here, this is what it is selected in each of the cell, because on top that's what you have selected. But in this case, let's say if you want to select some other language or use some other language here. So in this case, I have this table and I want to do add a code here, and but I don't want to use PySpark. Here I want to use a SparkSQL. So you can use this magic command percentage SQL, and then it's going to use a SQL. So now if I drag a table here, it's going to write a straightforward select query. So instead of using PySpark, like you load to the data frame and then display the data frame. So right now we are just simply writing SQL. Same way, if you go back to the next and you want to write maybe R language, so it says Spark R right there. So you can use these magic commands in different cells, and that's how you will be able to use different languages in each of the cell in your notebook. And here is the output coming from our table, so from customer table, and we can always limit the records, maybe 2 or 3, or where you put the where clause or whatnot. So whatever we want to do, we can simply do in these cells and use the different languages. Now let's go back to our main thing. We have covered all that. So save and auto save. If you see that right here, it is auto save. So all the changes what I'm making, it is auto save. You can turn it off or turn it on, but in my case I may have turned it on because any changes I want to make, I want to save them. Now in this case, what we have covered kernel. Now let's go ahead and take a look on the environment. The environment drop down in Microsoft Fabric let you configure the runtime settings of your notebook session, not just workspace context. So here you have a key configuration available. So you have libraries you can choose and manage built-in public and custom libraries, is for example Java, Scala, Python, or you can Spark compute configuration. You can adjust Spark properties such as executor cores, memory size, and parallelism, acceleration and compute settings, optimize performance for specific workloads such as batch, interactive streaming, storage and resources, manage linked storage accounts, or preload data assets. The environment defines how your Spark jobs will execute. You can create multiple name environments such as test, prod environment with the different library versions and compute profiles. So that's very important. And if you go right here in the notebook and in the notebook, go to the home, and then if you see the environment here, it's a workspace default. So if you take a look here, it's in runtime 1.3, Spark 3.5, Delta 3.5. So this is the configuration it is using, and it is using compute medium 1 to 10 nodes. So if you want to go further in and say open right here, it will take you there, and you can see it is using your starter pool with this configuration. So now you can go to the environment and tells like okay, it can you can disable, so it will set to the default, and if you have created the environment, then you can enable and choose the one for the workspace. Now if you go ahead and save here, you have jobs here, so reserve maximum cores for active Spark jobs, as you can make that change as well. You can go to the high concurrency. So here for the notebooks, you know, high when high concurrency for the notebook is on. Multiple notebook can use the same Spark application to reduce the start time for each session. And then you have for the pipeline run multiple notebooks. So when high concurrency for the pipeline is on, multiple notebooks can use the same Spark application to reduce the start time for each session. So you can enable these settings for your notebooks or pipelines, and automatic logs that can be enabled or disabled as well. So see right here, this is our default pool, and then we have environment that's also default right here. I can go ahead and create a new one, and then let's say we go right here and we create a new pool here, and I'm going to call this one my dev pool. Okay, so this one will have a very small configuration, and the memory optimized is fine, node size is small, and then I will say auto scale is fine, but I don't want to give 10 nodes. I want to give only 3 nodes. And the dynamic allocation executor, okay, one is here, and then max to create. Now if I will create this and then save it, now I have multiple pools, but I still don't have multiple environments. So in this case I can go ahead and create a new environment. Let's go to the we can see right here, this is our dev pool. So this is our starter pool, so we can choose the pool that we want to use. So I'm gonna leave this for just for the starter, and then I'm gonna create a new environment. Let's close this, and now we go right here in the notebook, and in the notebook we have environment here, and then you're gonna click a new environment. In the new environment, we call this one a dev environment. I'm going to create this environment, and then make some choices here. So you see right there, there are built-in libraries here for, and there is also the runtime. So I'm using 1.3, Spark 3.5, and Delta 3.2. You can choose the previous version if you want, and then just save it. In our case, public libraries, if you want to add some public libraries, you can go ahead and add that, and I don't want to add anything here. You have custom libraries, you can upload, all those custom libraries, and then you have other options to make changes. So in this case, you have acceleration, and if you want to make change to enable native execution engine, you can go ahead and do that, and or leave this alone. And in the computer, we are using start pool here, and that has 8 cores driver, and then a Spark driver memory 56 GB, and the executor 8, and then you have memory for executors 56 GB. Remember that we created the new pool, and if I click right here, I can use that dev pool here. Now I have to tell like how many cores I want, then the memory 28, and then executors, and then I can tell the executor memory. So here you can say dynamically allocate executors, and you can put the max number here 1 to 9, or you can disable and then leave whatever you have right there. So I'm gonna just leave this with our enable dynamic allocation. Now we are all good here between node 1 to 3, and it's a small size, and this is the dev pool we are using. And now I am able to save this changes for my new environment. And one more thing I wanted to say here in the Spark properties, if I want to add some properties, I can always go ahead and add some properties, admin, whatever the properties I want to add, I can add it here. Also in the resources, let's say if I have some notebooks sitting on my computer and I want to add them, what I can do, I can simply add them here, and then they will be available when somebody selects the environment. So I want to go ahead and close right there, and then save, and then what you will do, you will hit publish. So all the changes that we are publishing, and guess publish, and now you actually you could have created the folders and then create or upload the files under it, and right here. So if I will say my Amir's notebooks, or we say main notebooks, or configuration notebooks, so you can create them, and then under that you can load different notebooks which will be available whoever will be using your environment. So that's good, and we can save it now, and once it's done, and now we can go to the home, and we are good here. Now you see that we have this notebook here, notebook 6, and if I go right here and I say change environment, now it is giving me the dev environment. I can choose the dev environment, confirm it, and then confirm again. Now this notebook, that notebook 6 is going to use the environment dev environment, and that has a 1 to 3 node. If you go to my other notebook right here, and I have selected the default environment that has 1 to 10 nodes, and you can see right there. So this is how you can create different environments and then use them in your notebook, and that's really helpful. Tells you how much compute you want to use, which libraries you want to use, and all those kind of things. So we have spent good amount of time here, and I'm going to go to the next one, and then what we have here, data wrangler. I will actually create a separate video on this one. So if you don't know how to write the code, and then you need some graphical interface to help you to, like, you want to remove duplicates or add a new column and all that, you will use the data wrangler. Launches are no code visual tool to clean and transform data, great for analyst. So not for the developers. Mostly you will not be using this one. When you are a developer, you will be writing code by yourself, but if you are not familiar with the writing code, you can always go ahead and you can use this. So here you will have this right here, and once you select it, it's going to show you, and then you can make changes from there. Okay, so it has loaded some data, and now we have this data frame called the Wrangler sample data frame, and this there you can see all the columns and everything. Now you can say data wrangler here, and it's going to give you this interface where you can select a lot of operations and all that. There are a lot of views here. You can do operations and code review and all those summary, and you can see everything here, or just go with the operations, and then cleaning steps and everything. And you can take a different, let's say you want to capitalize the first character, you can choose that. Once you do that, it asks you like, hey, which column you would like to select, maybe in the name, and then you will go ahead and say capitalize all words. Okay, fine, and then you will say apply, and once you apply, it will apply this formula right there, and now you have right here. So I don't know if this need a separate video, but anyways, once you do that, you will be able to add code to the notebook. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and now it's going to add that code to the notebook right here, and it did, and you can see that it is capitalizing that first letter right there. So it has somewhere here. So if we run this one, what's going to happen? It is going to capitalize the first letter of the name. But I will create more complex videos on this one, so I hope that will help. The next one is open the code in VS Code. So if you go right here, there's a button right there, and you have option to open in VS Code desktop or the open in VS Code web. You can click right there. It's going to open a new tab for you, and then it's going to show you the code that you have written. So you can connect from here and select your workspace, and once you select your workspace, it's going to show you that notebook right here. So you can see right there, this is the notebook. We can write the code, we can do all those different things here in the VS Code window. Now you have Copilot, that's right here, but I don't have I have a trial version, so it's not available to me, but otherwise I could have used the different features of Copilot. Ask maybe write me code, load this table, and all those kind of things, so it will help me to write that code. Now we have done all these things here, and here is a new AutoML run, and if you do that, what's going to happen, it asks you train an ML model with AutoML. So you can select your Lakehouse, whatever you have available. I have only Lakehouses available, and once you do that, what's going to happen, it's going to ask you select your data, then define ML code purpose, set a training data, then final details, review, and create a notebook. So let's say if I will select customer here, and in this case it's going to create the preview, and hit next, and then you can do different things. Let's say I want to do classification, and then I will go with this fine. No, I'm just randomly selecting. Honestly, I'm not making any sense here, but you see that you have data, then you can define the ML code purpose here, and then finally you will create a notebook. So that's what it is going to do for you. So you don't have to write the whole notebook by yourself, and it is going to do that for you. So if we say stop now, and it's going to go ahead create that notebook for us. So see right there, when the notebook was there, and it just put all those code right here. So it is automated ML. So introduction, the notebook is automatically generated in the Fabric low code auto ML wizard based on your selections. So whether you are building a regression model or classifier or another machine learning solution, this tool simplifies the process of transforming your goals into the executable code. So it has written the code for us, and you can see that it loaded the data that we have selected. Then in the next cells, it is generating features, and then you can go ahead and take a look. It's going to do all those different type of training and testing, and that's all, everything is available. Now this brings us, if you, I will say create always a new notebook, and then use those this feature from there, because I have messed up my whole first notebook, and this part added to it. Now this is also one good thing is there, we can go back to the history here, and then if I go back to history and I have saved this version here, you can create your new versions here, and then I have created this version. So let's say I can call this after adding ML. Okay, so now if I create a version here, and this will create a version, and then I can go back, and this is my current, and after adding ML, but I need to go to the my notebook that I just started. So if I go right there and click, and it asks me, hey, you want to restore this one? I say yes to the current, and current has all the ML code and everything, so I don't need that, so I can restore. And now what's going to happen is going to give me that my actual notebook. So now if I go back here, I have very clean notebook here. So this is one of the things, you can go to history, you can create your version, and then or you can select the current version, and it is keep saving those different versions for you. And this helps to, in case you want to revert back to the previous version, or sometime you maybe make some deletes or something that you want to bring it back, you can go back to history and take a look from there. Also you can write the comments in this case. Let's say we go to notebook 6 here, and now if I have this cell, and I will go to the comments here, and then I can write a new comment and say, guess what, this is working, and long demo. Okay, now I can publish, and also I have the option at the rate mentioning somebody. So if I have like other person, Lisa, I can mention those people, and they can also come and write the comments on my notebook right here. Okay, so that's possible, you will be writing comments. So we have covered pretty much all of these tabs here, and that's good thing. Now let's go to the our actual notebook right here and see what is left. So if we go to the AI tools, we have Data Wrangler that helps us graphical write the code that I showed you guys. You have new auto ML run that will create a notebook for us, and let us select the data set and those different ML models, and then create a notebook for us. We can also set up an AI function. So if you click right there, it has all those different categories that you can select, and it will help you to write those AI functions. Now let's go back here and go to edit here, and in the edit we have autosave, we have seen that, and then we have this undo button, and then we have add code cell below, or we have all those. So let's go to the notebook 6, and here we go to the edit, and then let's say we are right here, right? So I'm gonna just delete this cell because I don't need it, and then I say add code cell below, so it will keep adding as many as I want. Clear all outputs, so you see right there you have these different we executed this cells, and we have outputs. So now we want to clear all of them. Browse code snippet, so you have this available here with the PySpark, R, Python, and Scala, and different code snippets libraries right here. You can take a look from there. There is another button, find and replace, and you can search for something and then replace. Let's say we have a display, and then we want to replace, you can go ahead and replace with, and replace a single entity, or replace all. You have available that feature to you. Now what is next? We have done AI tools, and then run. In the run, you have run all, so, or cancel all. So once you run all the cells, let's delete these cells, and you have seen that run all, how it works. It's going to run all the cells here, And now if we want to do run cells above, so let's say you are here and you want to say run cell above, and what's going to happen, now it's going to execute the cell above. So you can choose wherever you are, and then depending upon that you can or cancel all if I want to do that. Now you can stop the session, if this is starting a session, you want to stop it, you can stop. Now this pipeline I have created, I want to add to the pipeline. So pipeline is, it's like Azure Data Factory pipeline. So if I will do that, it's going to be pipeline adding PL with the notebook. Okay, so if I will create that, it's gonna go ahead and create a pipeline for me, and then add this notebook as a activity there, and then see right there. So if I go right here, this is my pipeline, it's called PL notebook, and then you have this notebook here that we created, and then what's happening in the settings, we can see that workspace name, and this workspace notebook name is notebook 6. We remember that we have created this notebook 6 here, and we can change if you want to add another notebook, you can change, and there are other options. If you want to open, you can open the notebook and take a look, and once your pipeline is created, and here if I go to the pipelines again, so I have to go back here to the workspace here, this is a pipeline. So if I want to validate, run, schedule, add trigger, and all those kind of things I can do in the pipeline. This is Azure Data Factory pipeline, in other words. So we will go through this, and if you are still interested to learn about Azure Data Factory pipelines, I have a complete tutorial on Azure Data Factory, and you can learn all the items define or activities in the this pipeline. So watch my videos in that. I'm going to create a lot of contents here as well, so you don't go back to the tutorial, but I will suggest if you want to become a data engineer, it's a good idea to watch all those videos. Now we go back to our final, we have done this, and what is left here, what we have added to pipeline, and we can schedule. If I want to schedule my notebook, I can simply go to schedule here, and then turn on the schedule. Then we have hours, day, weekly, monthly, and all those options available for repetition. And then we have time, and then we have start time, end time. So we can define if we want to run for 1 year and don't want to run after 1 year. So that's possible. So we will do some experiment on that later, and view recent runs. So if I have been running my notebook, what I can do, I can go right here, and then I can take a look on all those executions. So if we have executed, we can take a look right there, and look at the detail like job, resources, and you can see queue duration, running duration, and whatnot. So there is tons of information for you, and you see from there what exactly we had run, and items, snapshots, and everything. So there is a lot more information for you to take a look about the executors and everything. I'm trying to cover everything very quickly. I want to go back, and because the video is already like 30 minutes and above. Okay, so this is all done, and we go to view option here, and now it's a layout. So if you see right there in the layout, it is standard, and you see the cells, and if I want to say side by side, and you have it's going to show you side by side, and then you have option outputs only. So as of now we don't have outputs and anything like that, but I'm going to go to this Fabric 9 notebook and do the same thing here. So these are my cells here, and if I do standard and if I do side by side, you see that these are markdown cells, and this is the output is showing me. So if you are writing something like that, you can take a look on the side by side, and it helps you to see. And if you want to see the only outputs, you will be seeing something like that. Now I'm going to go with the standard where I can double click and make changes and everything. Now also you have table of contents, and here if you click right there, all those things what you have in the this is my heading on the main top of the notebook. It comes right here. You have home tab, and then you have AI tab, so you can click on any of them, and then it will switch it or take you in that portion of that page. So that's what it will do. Now what is left here, we have keyboard shortcuts, and you have all different shortcuts available. Change cell type to decode, so you have Y, and here you have edit mode, you have up, down, and control B for bold and italic and everything, and you have commands. If you want to execute cell, then select the cell below, shift enter, execute all, alter, or. So different shortcuts are available that you can use in these cells and notebook. If you are writing, let's say you have this notebook here, and then you have a cell here. Now what I want to do, if I want to line numbers here or no line numbers, so you see that it is creating the line numbers. So if we have test 1 2 3 and all that, so it is see the lines are being created 1 2 3. If I don't want the lines, then it will remove the line numbers. So see right there, line numbers are there. Okay, so what's new, you can click and take a look. So it will give you what's the new, and you can maybe take a look on the tour, and that will help. I'm gonna go back to the notebook here, and one thing is left is called the develop mode. So if you go right here on top of that notebook, and here is the develop mode, you have make changes, run, and comment. And run only, run cells but make no changes, edit, make changes, and comment, but no run cells, and view only. So this is very helpful, and depending on the role you are playing in your team, and you can choose. And here is like a develop, full control, run, edit, and comment, run only, can execute cells, and all that. So depending upon, like, if you are a developer, you will be probably going with this one. If you are just a business user, you will be like, hey, view only, and all those kind of things. Or if you need to edit, you can go from there. You can use this when you're working with the different teams of developers, analysts, and reviewers, and etc. And then we have taken a look on history, comments, and everything. And here is a summary. Running Spark Microsoft Fabric Notebook offers a rich UI for running Spark jobs, managing environments and resources, using AI tools like Copilot, scheduling and integrating into the pipelines, and controlling access and collaboration. So this notebook give you a full tour. I'm going to go ahead and put this notebook in the description. We will do some more, like a schedule or data wrangler and all that. They need separate videos, and I will create a separate video for that. So I thank you very much for watching this video. And one thing, you can add to the pipeline from here as well. I think I have shown that, a new add or existing pipeline. So it depends upon there, if you have existing pipeline. And remember that we can add our notebooks to the pipelines as well, existing ones. So once you create the notebook, very easy and very convenient way to merge your or add your notebooks into the pipelines. So I thank you very much for watching this video. I hope I was able to cover a lot of stuff in this video. And I'm sorry I had to make this a long video. Otherwise, there are a lot of topics I could have not covered. I will see you guys in the next video.